Up till now, which scheduling algorithms we have seen? We have seen the scheduling algorithms which are SJF, FCFS, then priority. These are the algorithms which we have studied. All these algorithms we have studied. What happens in FCFS? In FCFS, the process which arrives first is allocated the CPU first. In SJF, what happens? The process which is having the minimum burst time is allocated the CPU first. In priority scheduling, what happens? In priority scheduling, what happens? The process which is having the highest priority is allocated the CPU. And if two processes are having same priority, then which algorithm is implemented? If same priority, then which algorithm is implemented? FCFS only. And in this case also SJF, if two processes have same burst time, then which algorithm is followed? FCFS only is followed. Now coming to our round robin scheduling algorithm, it is a compulsory preemptive scheduling algorithm. Here a fixed time slot is allocated to each of the process. For that time only the process will execute, and if it is not completed its execution, then once again the processor will be allocated. So what happens in this? A process starts its execution, it is preempted by the operating system, then next process is taken, and so on. This is continued. And if a process which has already been executing its processing, and if it needs some more time quantum, then once again it will be allocated the processor. So here what happens? One process is stopped for the execution and new process is taken for the execution. That is called context switching. So you can think of it as a circular queue. Process P1 has come, P2 has come, then P3 has come, then P4 has come. All the processes have come, and all these processes have completed the execution, and they are suppose given the time slice of 2 milliseconds only, 2 milliseconds only, and but process P1 needs 4 milliseconds for completing its processing. So once again which process will come into execution? P1. So that is, it is going in round fashion. So it is called round robin scheduling algorithm. This algorithm is mostly used in which circumstances? It is used in multitasking. Multitasking means what? At a time multiple processes are executing. And how these processes are executing? They are using the round robin scheduling algorithm. Let us begin with our round robin scheduling algorithm. The time quantum for this algorithm is 5 milliseconds. These are the processes P1 to P5. Order is changed over here. Burst time is given. After burst time, then arrival time is also given. Now let us begin with tracing of the algorithm and drawing the Gantt chart. So first process which is arriving is your process P2, which is the process P2. Fixed time is 5 millisecond only, so 0 to 5. Next process is P3. It is also going to execute for only 5 milliseconds, so 10, 5 plus 5, 10. Keep counting over here. From 12 milliseconds it has completed the 5 milliseconds, so remaining is how many? 2 milliseconds. Over here remaining is 3 milliseconds. Next process is P4. P4 needs only 4 milliseconds, so it will take only 4 milliseconds and release the processor. So remaining time is 0 for this process. Next is process P1. It is going to take only how many milliseconds? 5 milliseconds, which is predefined. So 14 plus 5, that is 19. Last process is P5. So here remaining is 5 and here remaining will be 1. So 5, it is going 19 plus 5, that is 24. Then all the processes have completed the execution. Once again the processing will start from which process? Process P2. P2, once again it is going to take only 5 milliseconds because time quantum is only 5 milliseconds. 24 plus 5 is 29. So how many more it needs? 2. Then next is P3, but P3 is needing only how many milliseconds? 3 milliseconds. So it is 29 plus 3 gives you 32. Next P4, but P4 has completed the execution, so no need to take P4 again. Next is P1, once again P1. So P1 is going to take how many milliseconds? 5 milliseconds. It is 37, and here it is remaining 0. Then last is P5. P5 it needs how many milliseconds? It needs only 1 millisecond, so it is 38. Finished execution 0. Now which is the process once again to enter the queue? It is P2, and now P2 requires how many milliseconds? It requires 2 milliseconds, so it is 40 finally. So this is the execution of your all the processes P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5. Now coming to our calculations, the completion time. Completion time for process P2. For process P2, look at the Gantt chart. P2 has completed at 40th millisecond. Then P3 has completed at 32 millisecond time. Then P4 has completed the execution at 14th millisecond time. P1 has completed the execution at 37 millisecond time. And P5 has completed the execution at 38 millisecond time. Now turnaround time. Turnaround time is what? Completion time minus arrival time. So 40 minus 0 gives you 40. 32 minus 3 gives you 29. 14 minus 5 gives you how much? 14 minus 5 gives you 9. Then 37 minus 10 gives you 27. 38 minus 12 gives you 26. Calculating the waiting time. Waiting time is what? Turnaround time minus burst time. So it is 40 minus 12 gives you 28. 29 minus 8 gives you 21. 9 minus 4 gives you 5. 27 minus 10 gives you 17. 26 minus 6 gives you 20. So this is the calculation of turnaround time and waiting time. Now as usual you have to find the average waiting time and average turnaround time.